AM2, AM2S and AM2E when you're carrying out your insulation resistance test on your lighting circuit that could possibly be two-way and intermediate. You must follow the next procedure when carrying out the test. We're going to need to set our Megger MFT up to do the insulation resistance test. We've got the Megaohms scales here, sometimes called the Megaohms scale. We need to set it to 500 volts. 500 volts DC, and we're going to need to check that these leads actually are good. So in this case, we're going to bring them together and expect to get a dead short on here. We bring the two leads together, connect them, and then we have to press and hold our test button, and we expect to get a dead short. If one of the leads had broken, and they can sometimes break at this point here without you noticing it, it's no different than being broken here. So if we do, imagine we had a broken lead, let's remove those apart, and we did our test. We've actually got a reading greater than the machine can read, greater than 999 megaohms or megaohms, however you want to say it. So that would be a false reading that we'd think was brilliant. So it's always important that you just bring your leads together before you carry out this test. Press your test button and just confirm you've got a dead short. So they're connected together, leads are in good shape. So we're ready to do our insulation resistance test. Our RCCB is in the off position, our circuit breaker is in the off position. We're going to do it from the top of our breaker and our neutral and earth bars. There is no correct sequence, and it's not even a Gary sequence. So we're going to go in any order we like, connect onto the earth bar, and I'm going to test between the earth bar and neutral. I'm going to press my test button on my instrument and I get a reading greater than the machine can read. Remember, the smallest acceptable value of insulation resistance is 1 megaohm, but we'd expect a very, very high reading for a brand new installation. Next, I'm going to test between my line and my earth connection. So my CPC and my earth bar. So there we go. So that's between line and CPC, greater than the machine can read. Just going to take my crocodile clip, move it across to the neutral bar and test between the neutral bar and the line connection. And again, greater than the machine can read. Now you might think that's it, the insulation resistance test is done, but for AM2, AM2S, AM2E, your endpoint practical assessment for anything with two-way or two-way and intermediate switching of a lighting circuit, you need to operate your switches according to guidance notes 3. So in our installation here, we don't know whether our circuit was on or off. So what you do is you test at the board as we've done, you walk out into the installation and you operate a switch. So we've operated this switch here, we go back into our board and we do all three again. Once we've done that, we will come out and operate this switch, do all three again, and then we'll do this switch and do all three again. So effectively, you're going to do the insulation resistance test on this circuit 4 times. That means that we will prove that all elements of the switching and strappers were at some point in circuit and check for insulation resistance testing. So we've operated this switch, we come back into our board, and we test again the 3 sets as we go through. So we can see the reading. We now go between the earth and neutral bars. Once again, greater than the machine can read. We move it across. We connect our line connection and our CPC. And again, we're very happy with these readings. We come back into our installation. We operated this switch first time. So we come to this switch now, operate the switch. We come back to our consumer unit and we go through all 3 once again. There we go. Move across. We test again. And we need to move the crocodile clip across to our earth bar. Test between that and our line connection. And we can see, again, greater than machine can read. We leave the consumer unit, we come back into the installation. We've operated this switch, we've operated this switch. So we're now required to operate this one here. And now we can go back and test for the final time, meaning we've actually carried out the insulation resistance test 4 times. So reading greater than the machine can read. Move it across. Test again. And then finally, we move across into here. We test for the last time. We have taken a lot of readings there. They were all the same, so it's nice and easy to record it on our test paperwork, and I like it as plus 999 for this instrument rather than using the greater than symbol. It's up to you what you want to put in. But that's our insulation resistance test carried out now, and we've carried it out with our switches, and then we operated them as per guidance note 3 and as you will be required at your endpoint assessment.